Thanks for staying with us. Africans are in mourning after a passenger plane crashed earlier today on its way from Ethiopia to Kenya, killing all 157 passengers and crew on board, including 2 Israelis. The Air Ethiopia 737 went down 6 minutes after taking off from Addis Ababa on Sunday morning. Officials say there are no survivors. The victims are from a number of countries, including Kenya, Ethiopia, Britain, France, America and Canada. The office of Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has offered its condolences, taking to Twitter to express sympathy to those who lost loved ones on the flight. He's a Kenyan Transport Minister.
You may be aware that the incident took place at 8:38 when the flight took off from Bole International Airport, and 6 minutes later it got lost in terms of radar surveillance. It had 149 passengers on board with 8 crew.
And for more on this developing story, let's now go to Paul Tilsey, who's a journalist based in Johannesburg. Paul, thank you for being with us this evening. Taking into account that this only happened today and investigators are still on the ground as an investigation is being launched into just what went wrong, tell us, is there any idea yet as to what may have happened?
There seem to be some alternatives, Sarah. There naturally can't be an exact idea as to what went wrong at this stage. But this crash is a rather unfortunate coincidence. That's to put it mildly. It's a brand new variant of the world's most popular plane, the 737. And this variant is called the 737 MAX 8. And it's only been in service with Ethiopian Airlines, this particular airliner, for 4 months. But 5 months ago, exactly the same plane, a Lion airplane in Indonesia, came down with a total loss of life also shortly after takeoff. Now, at the time, some analysts said that because of the new position of the aircraft engines, Boeing had to introduce some new software, which was anti-stall software, particularly useful when the plane is taking off. And this anti-stall software can force the nose down. Analysts are certainly looking at that because this plane, after taking off, data shows, Sarah, did actually dip and then tried to regain height. The pilot said to the tower that he was having technical difficulties and he was given permission to come back and make an emergency landing. But the data shows that he carried on in a straight line and the plane literally fell out of the sky, according to eyewitnesses, and made a 500-meter long trough as it crashed into small pieces in a field about 50 kilometers only from the airport from which it had taken off. Sarah?
And, Paul, we're seeing some absolutely awful, heartbreaking pictures of relatives of people who were on board this 737. So tell us, what kind of procedure has been set up for the families of victims amid this outpouring of grief?
A very good question. I've been watching that quite closely. Certainly in the airport where it was due to arrive in Nairobi, Kenya, they've gone into a very good procedure. They've actually isolated an entire airport terminal for the families of those who lost their lives on board. And no media is allowed anywhere close. And they have counsellors there, and they're really trying to do their best to give them counselling.
Okay, Paul Tilsey there in Johannesburg. Thank you so much for your time this evening.